you feel frustrated because you know you have been working on yourself. You know that you've been doing affirmations. You know that you've been doing things that are good. You're not, oh wow, I'm such a good person. Because I love the way my teacher described humility. Humility is knowing exactly who you are. It's awareness. If you're a good person, it's not like you say, I'm a good person. You're just like, I know I have personal power. I know that the divine through me can make things happen. And so that's why things, it seems like they manifest in my life, but I know it's not myself. It's my intention, and then the divine goes on a surfing expedition to bring back from the ocean of the eternal magic everything that is going to assist me to be on purpose in this life and to do what I need to do what I know in my heart is right. And then there's another day where you're, wow, I feel like there's just one little fine hair, just that one little fine hair from achieving what I know can be achieved. And then you feel frustrated. So you feel like your purpose or your life force is garbage, rubbish. You're like, I know, it's just that fine little hair. I know I can do it. I know with you, God, everything is possible. I know with you, everything. I know. And you're still frustrated. And it's so bizarre when that happens, because you don't know what it is. You might have read about karma. Did I do something shitty in a past life? What's going on? Why aren't these things manifesting? You don't have enough personal power yet. However, if you know who you are and you want to use your willpower, you can make things happen. The divine through you, which is your true higher self, can make things happen. But first of all, I've discussed this before, but some of you I've never met before. You haven't met me before. So let's talk about this. There is you on this beautiful ocean of light, the eternal light, floating on this ocean of light. Let's call it this diamond. You're this soul, and there's just this ocean of light. It's beautiful, it's pure, it's gold, it's blue, it's the creator, it's everything, and you are on it, but you're actually in it as well. So say, for example, the ocean's there and you're just glowing out top of it a little bit like a ray of sunshine. You are part of that ocean of light, the creator. You are, in fact, immortal consciousness. This you can think of as your diamond, your soul. And what happens is every time you have an experience where you are emotional, emotion is not feeling. Some people get confused. Emotion has judgment, pissed offness, anger. I want, passion, I need. Come here, baby. Light my fire. Emotion is not feeling. Feeling is gentle. It's non-reactionary. Whenever we are emotional, we get reactionary, and it could be a positive emotion, a positive, you think, reaction, but it's still emotion. It is still part of the Maya. It is still, there is I and everyone else. I am feeling this. No, you're not feeling it. You are emotional about something. So every time you have an emotion, you have, that's just, it's not literal. I just want to explain it to you. But let's just look at it like this. It's like a little bubble, little dark bubble. And it has a label on it. And this particular label, when it's emotional in anger, or I didn't get, or I need, or I want, fear. For those Americans, fear. Fear. Fear with an R doesn't really sound very fearful to me, but fear, oh, fear. And then you will have little offshoots from that, like a little mind map, say for example. And then another little bubble occurs the next time you are emotional or angry or upset or fearful. And it'll have all these little labels until eventually all these emotions, you know, for example, there might be, you think a happy emotion. Oh, I fell in love and he was so nice and George was the best. I loved him so much. Then George the bastard, he broke my heart. Then every time you have a certain expectation of what a romantic relationship must be, George appears, but unconsciously. And so you become more and more reactionary to something that George did for your new lover or boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever your partner is at the time. Who gives a shit? That's what happens. Is there anyone under 18? Well, you know, you've heard your parents say shit before. Surely. Shite. That doesn't sound like swearing, does it, William? Shite. Anyway, so these little bubbles appear and they start surrounding this diamond. So you can't hear it anymore. And it's there. It is omnipotent light. When people used to pray, when there weren't many people around, things would manifest when they were sincerely praying, manifest very, very quickly, because they didn't have nearly 8 billion people. Not only 8 billion people on the planet nearly right now, but all the consciousness and thoughts and emotional bubbles that have been created since the beginning of having people on this planet that weren't enlightened. Since that, so it's like this quagmire of little bubbles around this perfect diamond. So you can't hear, you can't see. You're like the three monkeys: hear no evil, see no evil. Yes, but also hear no light, see no light. So, you know, you want to be able to have them dissolve. So every time, you can do it on your own. Trust me, I have done it to a certain extent. You can release a lot of those bubbles. After I had a near-fatal car accident, I did singing affirmations, and that used left and right hemisphere of my brain. So the affirmation, the new positive thought, would go straight into the treasury of my subconscious mind. And that is a powerful way to have recreation started, because then you begin to oscillate at a faster frequency when you're adding. But you still have in your long-term memory these bubbles. So out of the blue, one day, you think you've really cleared yourself and you're feeling great. I love the way, what's her name? Past life, Shirley MacLaine, yes. Shirley MacLaine said, I thought I was so spiritual and so mystical, remembering my past lives and doing all this stuff. And then I go home for Thanksgiving. And I realize I'm not there yet. That's honesty, you know, because there are still those little bubbles that she felt reaction. She felt reaction to certain things family members said or did. And so they're usually your best gauge. And so there are still things that are in the long-term memory that you will react to. We do want to do affirmations and positive action to help at least balance out so that reaction won't be as bad. But it's still there. It's not dissolved yet. So the karmic pull will still be there for certain situations, and you will find yourself recreating without realizing. People don't think they're recreating. I didn't create this shit that's going on in my life. It was my parents' fault, my teacher, my this, they that. It's the bubbles. It's all these reactions and emotions. So how in the buggery do we get rid of them forever? Well, we just talked about having a Kundalini awakening. When you have this light transmitted to you, that is dissolving. I'm just doing that because I like the sound. Dissolving the bubbles. It is dissolving them. They are popping. They're popping. You start feeling clearer. You start to be able to see things. And the more and more you have light transmitted to you, and the more you actually get involved by being of service to the world, to the divine, by practicing meditation, working out, doing something kind for someone when you don't feel like it, saying something nice instead of being an asshole. We all know being self-aware is important. Knowing our weaknesses and not blaming them on someone else, but doing our best to strengthen our weaknesses. These small little things, whenever we use our willpower to do something we do not feel like doing, but we know is going to help someone else. Particularly, it's not even about helping ourselves, particularly when we know it's going to, let's use the word assist or uplift another being on this planet. It is all of our responsibility being one with God, particularly when we start becoming aware of how nasty this world can be sometimes, but how beautiful it can be also. And making a decision that we will not walk out that front door without a smile on our face that's real, without feeling good within our body, so that we can break those, Brian Tracy used to call it like shackles, chains in your consciousness. And it is absolutely so powerful to have these bubbles dissolve because, my darling, because you are so loved and you have all the power of the eternal within you. It doesn't take much to get to the next level, the higher oscillation. And there are, like, we say there's about 8 billion people. There might be 7 billion or just under 8 billion, just under, who are even aware of this. This evolution of consciousness that can happen for anyone. If it happened to a little Australian pop singer, trust me, it can happen to you. Been there, done that. You can't judge yourself. We don't have a God up there going, oh, I don't know about that. You slept with someone when you weren't married. No! You took marijuana when you were a teenager. No! Well, shit, it's legal here now. I don't recommend marijuana to anyone unless you have cancer. Then it'll help a little bit. But otherwise, no, because it sort of buggers with your consciousness. Next, let's get off that for a minute. We want to have those bubbles dissolved. You've got to do it on your own, but you can't do it alone. And if you really want to release all the old karma and reactions and go on a fast path, it's not going to be easy. Let me tell you that right now. But it is doable. Everything is doable. You are here right now watching this because there is something within you that knows that you are unlimited. Not you, but the divine through you is unlimited. You tap into that resource that is unlimited, and what have you got? Unlimited opportunity. Not just to raise your consciousness, but to have good stuff happen in your life. Beautiful friends, great situations, opportunities. And so then when something does happen that you used to be very reactionary towards, rather than it being recreated in bigger and bigger ways and nastier ways as the years go on, they start diminishing. Because the less we are reactionary, say for example, you've got your little bubbles, but maybe 50% of them have, here we go again, pop goes the weasel, started dissolving, popping, going. So then what used to make you very reactionary, there's only like 50% of it now. It's just like, sort of pisses me off, but I'm fine. I'll get over it. That means you're aware. You're not blaming anyone else for your reaction. You're not saying it's their fault or they made me unhappy or they made me cry. It is you are 50% stronger now because you have used your willpower. You've had light transmitted to you. You've done certain things. When you've used your willpower, it is so powerful. It's like just saying to God, I am going to surf the wave of the eternal right now. It wipes out those bubbles. Not completely on your own, but it does. Because I know when I met my teacher, I'd already released a lot of those bubbles. I was a bloody happy person. But there would still be situations where I would feel in fear of lack or this not happening or this not happening. And I'd have to really work on myself because I was aware that I was responsible for everything in my life to to get through that fear. And so that's where willpower came in. Or switching your attention from that thing that's right in front of you, and you're like, how am I ever going to get rid of that thing? Dance now. Da-da-da-da. Everybody dance now. Put on some happy music. Switch your consciousness to something happier. Realize within yourself, God within me is my strength. God within me is my strength. I am saying right now, I am open, receptive to that strength, to remaining calm. Or just wait 2 or 3 minutes before you react. Have enough self-preservation and willpower to wait before you go and do something silly or say something hurtful to someone. Because it'll just come back at you. Millions of times worse than it for the other person. The other person will just go, oh, you're an asshole. Forget about you the next minute. So we want to have those bubbles burst.